Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto was sent to the Marvel world. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the final episode of What If Kaguya was Naruto's mother. And I also want to know guys, do you want me to start doing back My Hero Academy What Ifs? Comment down below and tell me what you think guys. Yeah, do you want me to start continuing them back? But also remember, if you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join Anime King and Anime King 2 and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support guys, and stay in tune for all the what ifs coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last part we left off, Thor was slammed into the ground with great force as he couldn't move as Naruto grabbed onto his hand, as Naruto wasn't going to allow him to call his hammer. Naruto was about to slam his feet into Thor's face, but suddenly, Kurama screamed in his head as Naruto got dizzy. Thor then called for his hammer as he slapped Naruto right in the face, knocking him back. As Naruto shook his head, as the control was wear off of him, Amora placed on him, as he told Thor what happened, as Thor told him to stay strong, but he has to go, as he then flew off. She then appeared as Naruto grabbed her by the throat, as she apologized to him and told him that it was Loki that told her to do it, and now with Thor going to deal with Loki, they are going to try and kill her, as she asked for Naruto's help. But Naruto told her if he ever see her again, he will kill her, and with that he left. Some time passed as Naruto was sleeping, as he was having a dream about Jiraiya, as Jiraiya was bloody and beaten, as he told Naruto he was disappointed in him. Naruto then jumped out of bed, as he was huffing and puffing, as he went to the bathroom, as him and Kurama started to talk, as Naruto remembered that Natasha is on a mission, as he didn't know exactly what she's doing. Shield's secrecy, as Kurama asked him how he feel about what Natasha told him, as Natasha couldn't have kids. It happened a long time ago, so Naruto was unable to do anything in heal her in any way. Naruto told Kurama there was still adoption, but Kurama said it was not the same, as Naruto admitted he was right. Naruto then sent a shadow clone as he was talking to Nick Fury, as Nick Fury asked Naruto what is he doing now. Does he just want to go back home to know if his friends are dead or not? As Nick Fury walked away, as Naruto was at a war zone, as this place has a lot of war going on right now, as he saved a man from two men who were trying to kill him, as the man invited Naruto to stay with him. His name was Charles, as his wife's name was Gabrielle, and his son's name was Harold, as they asked Naruto what he's looking for, as Naruto told them he's looking for a woman as he gave the name of Magic, her name that she go by, as Gabrielle told him that she's at 6B. Naruto headed down there, as he created a clone and the clone transformed into the newspaper, as Naruto took the real newspaper and headed off. As Naruto would just have to wait till she get back, as she was recently there. So with that he spent the time with Charles and his family, as they talk, and Naruto told them that he will get them out of here once he's done with everything, as they thank him for that. And Harold, he has power, as he invaded Naruto's mind and realized that his name was Nathan, as Naruto then allowed the boy to get in his mind, as he asked him how he got his power, as he told him it happened some years ago, as he was now able to control it. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. The next 2 days went by rather slowly, as the only thing available to do inside was talk, play board games, talk, watch TV, talk, or sleep. As he spent most of the time with the kid, the both of them talk on their powers and about it, and how did they learn to control it. And from the boy, talking about the best cartoons and all that, as Harold leaned towards Adventure Time, while Naruto mostly enjoyed Futurama, as Naruto leaned towards Fry, him going to a futuristic world and his lack of knowledge towards anything there, as Naruto told Harold his real name and the fact that he had powers, keeping out that he wasn't technically human. Naruto was currently at the table as he was playing cards. He then got the memories as he got up all of a sudden. As he put on his jacket, "Don't tell me you're going outside," said Gabrielle. "Sorry, but it's very important," said Naruto. "I can take care of myself." She looked at him as she then walked off to the bedroom as Naruto heard something opening and closing. She then came back with a handgun. "Here, take it." As Naruto was reluctant to take it. "Please," she said, as Naruto took it, as he slipped it in the back of his jeans. "Thanks," he said. "Good luck, Naruto," said Charles. "Be safe," said Harold in Naruto's mind. "Thanks, kid. I'll be back soon," Naruto said. Room 6B was slightly different than it was 2 days ago. For one, the lights were on, giving the room a homier look. All the articles and the clothes and the footwears were picked up, along with any trash littered along the coffee table, as the TV was on, and the shower was on as well. Inside of the shower was Magic, as she was standing naked as the hot water pressed into the back of her head, soaking her, as she turned around and allowed the water to hit her chest as it went down, as she grabbed the soap and the shampoo. About 10 minutes later, she stepped out of the shower, as she wiped the foggy mirror. As she calmly wrapped her towel around her head, she bent over and grabbed one of the towels under the sink. As she pulled it and started to dry herself, her body now dry, she wrapped a towel around her body and opened the door. As she headed into the living room, as she went into her bag, as she got dressed in a green hoodie with Oscorp on it and jeans. Now fully dressed, she calmly opened her bedroom door to go into the kitchen when she heard a voice. "I have been waiting." Turning around, she was about to use her power to get the hell out of here, only for a fist to wrap around her neck. As she looked down, she was shocked to see a hand with strange markings all over it wrapped around her body, paralyzing her more and more as the seals stretched along her. Her body now completely paralyzed, she started to panic as she started to channel her power, a disc of light forming beneath her, causing her to fall in. The only problem was that her captor still had his grip on her, causing them to land into a layer of snow. Naruto now looked around his new environment, the two of them surrounded by a vast forest, snow falling, covering everything in touch. Looking Magic into the eye, Naruto spoke. "I've got you in my binding seal. You can't move, and as long as I'm holding you, wherever you go, I go. So I think the only thing left for us to do here is talk. I don't want to hurt you, but if I have to, I will," Naruto said. "Why the hell should I talk to you? Who the hell are you anyway? Are you with AIM? Did that bitch send her acquired after me?" Naruto raised an eyebrow. "Who the hell is AIM? Is that like a off-brand of Shield or something? And what's a acquire?" "Look, you know what? My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and for the last time, I just want to talk." "You seriously don't know what I'm talking about?" Ileana asks. "You're inhuman though, aren't you?" "That's how you can do this," she said, as she looked down at the seal stretched on her body. Naruto shook his head. "I'm not an inhuman. I'm not an acquire. I'm not from AIM." "Then why the hell have you been stalking me for the past year?" she screamed at him. A vein pulsated on Naruto's forehead. "Because I want to talk to you." "Holy hell, what's so hard to understand about that?" Ileana looked at Naruto in confusion. "What is so important that you had to go globe searching, looking for me?" Naruto sighed in relief that you're actually going somewhere. "Can we take this back to your hotel room? We will need to talk in private." "Will you release these off me if I do?" she asked. "Yes, but you're going to be in constant contact with me, so you cannot just teleport away. Deal?" Magic looked down, as she thought for a second. "Deal," she said. Time skip. Naruto sat on the seat, facing Ileana, who was sitting next to him, as he was resting his head on the woman's shoulder, awkwardly. He had just gone over the fact that he wasn't from Earth, from another planet, or possibly from a separate dimension, and has been trying for the last 3.5 years to get home. He explained that a man named Kong directed him to her, saying that she has the abilities to help him later on. I have never met this Kong, the Conqueror. Maybe he's an inhuman. That's the only thing I can think of, she said, after hearing her description of Kong. Whoever this Kong guy is, it isn't important. What is important is if you can get me home, Naruto asks. My teleportation ability does allow me to travel through space and dimensions. Hell, if I really concentrate, then I can travel through time. So you can't, but Naruto was cut off. The only downside is that I need to be there before, or I need to know the place, what it looked like. So, say I've never been to Paris, all I have to do is Google search a picture of Paris, and then I can use that as a means to get there through visualization. So unless you have a picture of somewhere in your world, I can't get there. What if I were to describe it to you, or draw a picture? Naruto asks, rather desperate. Unless you have photographic memory, that won't work. I need to picture it in detail. If only you were good at casting genjutsu, then you could put her under an illusion and show her Konoha, and she could send you back there, Kurama grumbled. Maybe if I never gotten that power boost from Grandpa Sage, or the other Bijus, but my chakra is too vast for me to perform a genjutsu of that detail. You know as well, my control was shitty before, Naruto thought. For him to perform a genjutsu like that, he would have to spend years fine-tuning his control. The only reason he could use Shikaku, Cursed Seal, was because of the Biju subconsciously guiding him on how to use it, and he also had 20 clones a day training on how to use it. As she saw his face, she sighed, but there may be someone who can help. Actually, I know he can help. It's getting to him, that's a problem. Huh? Problem how? Naruto asks. The man taught me how to use my powers. Only, unlike mine, who rely on needing to see the destination, he isn't hindrance on that problem at all. Not only is he one of the most gifted teleportation in human history, but he's a natural born psychic. Using both abilities together, he can find anywhere he wants to go, use his vast teleportation range, and then use the ability to go there. Even if he can't find it, all he will have to do is go into your memories and go that way. As Naruto looked at Ileana, what's this guy's name? He asks. He never tell me its inhuman name, but he goes by the title Gateway. But there is a problem, she said. What is that? Naruto said. Well, Gateway doesn't like being on Earth too much. Too many bad memories, he say. The old hermit only stay on Earth for a week every handful of years, and the time it takes him to come back varies. It could be 2 to 6 years before he shows up again. When do you think he will come back this time? Naruto asks. Ileana smiled nervously. He's already here on Earth. You got a day before he leaves. Naruto shot up out of his seat. Can you take me to him? Yes, I... Bang, bang, as she was cut off. As Naruto's head jolted up, as that was gunshots, as it was coming from above them, a floor up. As Naruto was about to turn back to Ileana, when a sudden weight fell on his shoulders, as it lasted for only a second, as it then vanished as Ileana caught her breath. What the hell was that? She asked, getting up from her seat. Naruto's eyes suddenly widened in realization. Herald. As Naruto ran through the door as Ileana ran behind him. As he came to the elevator, as he smashed the button over and over again to see it has already passed going down, Naruto, Ileana called out. As she was running to the end of the hall, pointing at a sign said stairs. Which floor? She asked. F, Naruto said, as he moved like a blur, passing through C and D and E, as he came to F. As Naruto looked towards the room where the family was staying in, to see the door kicked off the hinges. No, he said as he dashed towards the door. Looking inside, his stomach wrenched to the sight that visited him, as the walkway was painted in blood, as a puddle of liquid came from 2 bodies. Both of them were wearing armor, same to the 2 soldiers he saved Charles from a few days ago. The 2 soldiers were laying in a puddle of their own blood, bones and brain matter. Where their heads used to be was an open neck, still squirting out blood. As he stepped over the bodies, as he heard Gabriel crying in anguish. Looking into the kitchen area, Naruto felt a lump came in his throat to the sight in front of him. There, sprawled out on the floor, was Charles, his lifeless body being held by his wife, as there was a hole in his head. Tears were streaming down Gabriel's cheeks, mixing with the blood that she had accidentally wiped on her face. As Naruto kneeled down as he came close, as he noticed there was another bullet wound in Charles' side. Gabriel, What happened? Where's Harold? Naruto asked. As she was crying even louder. They took him, she said. Who did? Naruto asked. I don't, as she couldn't finish her sentence, too busy crying over her husband's corpse. After a moment, she calmed down to whisper, they came for you, she said. Looking up, her eyes red from the tears and rage. They killed him. Because of you. They took my baby. Because of you. Why did they take Harold? Who took him? They were revolutionists. There were two of them. They were different. They were asking questions about you. And when we told them the truth that we didn't know anything, they shot Charles, she said, crying even more. Then Harold started to scream, and then I felt this huge pressure before what, Naruto asked. With a shaky hand, she pointed at the two lifeless bodies at the door. Before that, she whispered. As Naruto felt pure guilt, an intense guilt, looking down at Charles. You know you can't bring back the dead, right? Said Kurama. I know, Naruto said. Please, Nathan. Please bring him back to me, she begged. As Naruto looked down at the sobbing woman, as her eyes were closed as she holding on to Charles' corpse. For a moment, he was not here. He was back in Konoha, as he saw Sakura begging him to bring Sasuke home. Please, she continued begging, bring him back to me. Please, she said. Without thought, Naruto placed his palm against Gabriel's cheek. I'm so sorry, Naruto said. As he got up, blood staining his jeans, as he saw magic at the door. Walking over to the door, Naruto stopped as he made his way. I'll bring your son back. As he then turned and made eye contact with Gabriel. It's a promise of a lifetime. As Naruto headed off with magic. As she then looked down at Charles as she started to cry even more. I have just sent that man to his death. It doesn't matter how powerful he is. He can't take on an army. No matter how many men he might kill, he will die. Just now. As she brushed away his hair, I have caused so much death. So many people are going to die because I sent that man after them. As she closed her husband's eyes, she then felt a massive pressure rippling through the city. As the blood on the ground started to tremble, the entire place was shaking. Sometime earlier, Naruto, where are you going? Asked Magic. I'm going to save Harold, Naruto said. And if he's dead already, she asked. If you don't want to come, stay here with Gabrielle and make sure she's safe. As the door started to close, but she then stopped it. What about Gateway? He will only be here for another day. After that, you will have to wait for years for your chance to get home. Naruto looked her in the eye, hesitating for a moment as he then spoke. I've been trying to get home for nearly 4 years now. And in those 4 years, I have stopped giving a damn about anything else. I could have left a Shadow Clone here. I could have taken them out of the city when I met them. I could have stopped this rebellion the day I came here. But I didn't. I didn't give a damn about this world or these people. I've been so busy trying to get home, I never realized to think about what will happen after. After I go home, after I see for myself the destruction my absence has caused. It's time, Naruto said as he snapped his eyes open, that I start to give a damn. As Ileana stared into Naruto's eyes, seeing his determination. With a sigh, she walked inside the elevator. Fine, I'm going with you. As she smirked, someone needs to get you out of there. If shit hits the fan. As Naruto quickly created that Shadow Clone. Stay here and take care of Gabrielle until we return. Help her pack up our things, we're leaving as soon as we can. As the clone left, the elevator door closed. As when the elevator started to go down, Ileana spoke. So what can you do exactly? I can control the elements, magnetism, and an energy called chakra. I can also fly, clone myself, and cover myself in a multiple layers of a chakra shroud. Going all out, I have the powers of what you might call a god, Naruto said with a straight face. Ileana's eyebrow was twitching as she gave a sideways look at Naruto. Is that all? I used to be able to summon toads, but I haven't been since I came to Earth. Suddenly, the sound of an explosion rippled through the elevator. Stepping outside, Naruto could see the building with the revolutionists and the soldiers as it was on fire, with a couple of them lying on the ground dead. With a brisk pace, Naruto walked into the street. As Naruto released his chakra, as the entire place started to shake, people passed out from the strain of the force just hitting them. Speaking in Sinkaria, Naruto said, "Drop your weapons." Seeing that the man was still stunned by a show of power, Naruto spoke again. Now! But they still didn't listen, as all of the guns were brought up to Naruto as he pulled it from their hand, as they crushed and combined, turning themselves into balls. As Naruto appeared in front of the revolutionists, as he backhanded one of them straight into a building and slammed his feet into one of them's stomach, as he then grabbed the third one by the throat and lifted him off the ground. Who were the man you sent into that building, Naruto said, pointing at the building. While he was doing this, all of the soldiers had already run off. I don't know, the man said. Please, don't lie to me, Naruto shouted as he tightened his grip. If you lie to me again, I'll kill the other two. If you lie after that, I'll snap your back in 3 different places. And if you lie a third time, I will throw you out of Earth's orbit into space. He threatened, his voice a vicious growl. The man fought against Naruto's grip, but he couldn't get out of it. Seeing that he was trapped and he will die if he don't talk, as he gurgled out, as Naruto released some of the tension so he can hear what the man have to say. Their name was Sergei and Dimitri. Prime Minister Limka gave the order. Who were the other two? The ones that were in charge of the questioning, Naruto asked. I don't know. I swear, the man said. And where do I find this Prime Minister, Naruto said. As the man quickly pointed, he's staying in a camp several miles outside the city limits. He's telling the truth, said Kurama. As Naruto dropped the man to the ground, leave the city. If I run into you again, if I see you anywhere in my path, I'll slaughter you. Understood? As the man quickly got up and went over to help his two subordinates as they quickly got the hell out of there. So what now? Ileana asks as she walked up to Naruto. We're going to see the Prime Minister. Can you take us outside of the city? As she placed her hand on his shoulder as a white disc appeared below them, as the both of them sank inside as they landed on a withered field with rows of stalk surrounding them. Looking east, Naruto could see a place in the distance as he took in the natural energy of the area as he allowed himself to enter sage mode. As Naruto extended his senses outwards, I found them. The camp is a couple miles to the west. 100 people there at least. A couple hundred? The man got a legion of men with him? What are you going to do? She asked. I am going there, Naruto said as he started to walk off. Hey, wait, what are you going to do? We can't just go and confront this guy. These revolutionists are freaking crazy. They will shoot first if you even look at them wrong. Just imagine what they will do when we go after their leader on their home turf. Naruto looked at her. I'll be the distraction. You pick up the Prime Minister, take him somewhere safe and then come get me. You make it sound so easy, she said. Time skip. So, what now? Ileana asked as Naruto and her were standing a mile away as they were looking at the camp. The site itself could fill up a football field with several tanks, as there was planes, tanks, and all-terrain vehicles all around. The entrance to the camp was guarded by 4 men. In the center was a massive tent, keeping out everyone, as the guards were around it constantly. This monstrous tent was the camp headquarters, so it was safe to say the leader was inside there. Naruto looked up at the setting sun for a moment as he said, it's about 6 o'clock. I was going to say we wait till night time, but we don't know if he stay here the entire time. It's still light out, so I can say he's still at work in his camp headquarters. Do you know what this guy looks like? Naruto asked. No, but I can, she said, as she pulled out her phone. As she pulled up the search engine and she started to type. Here we go, she said as she showed her to the phone. The picture of a middle-aged man with a circular physique, with a thick mustache. Alright, it's time, Naruto said. Ileana looked at Naruto confused. What do you mean? As Naruto did not answer, as he already activated Sage mode, as he jumped down and walked towards the dirt path. Naruto, what's the plan here? Kurama asked. You can sit this one out, Kurama. I only need Sage mode for this. As Naruto created 3 clones as each of them scattered to give him the necessary chakra when he needed a boost. But do you have a plan for after this? There was 2 others in that room. 2 others who probably don't have anything to do with the revolutionists. What if that boy is dead? As Naruto cut Kurama off. If he's dead, I'll kill them all. And if Shield was involved in this somehow, you and I both know them with their interest in people with different abilities. And if Shield is involved, I'll kill them all as well, Naruto said. Even Clint, Natasha, Kurama said. They wouldn't, Naruto said. You and I know they both would. They do whatever Fury or the council asks. Kill, steal, spy, seduce. Clint or Natasha won't do that. She wouldn't do that to me, said Naruto. Naruto, I don't want to ruin what you have with this woman. Trust me, I don't. But you can't look at them differently from other people, even if you like or love them. This really isn't the time for this, Naruto thought, as he started getting near the camp. The guards took notice of him, all four of them pointing their rifle right into his direction. Leave now, or we will put you down. Naruto didn't say a word as he simply raised his hand, as he pointed his finger towards a guard in the shape of a gun, as he channeled wind chakra to the tip of his finger. Turn around now, the guard said, as Naruto released, as a bullet made from wind tear right through the man's skull, as it fly through his skull and tear through the man behind his shoulder, as the man cried out in pain as the first body fell. As Naruto vanished in a burst of speed and appeared between the two guards who were still standing. As Naruto thrust his fist into the man's face, as the man's skull cracked on impact, as Naruto turned his finger towards the other man and fired off another wind bullet straight in his heart, as it teared through his chest and burst through his back. As the man who got shot in the shoulder slowly started to get to his feet, Naruto grabbed him by the face and lifted him up. Where is Limka? Naruto said. As Naruto started to squeeze his face, the big tent in the middle of the camp, he screamed. Naruto nodded. Does he have a personal tent where he goes to sleep somewhere for privacy? I don't think so, the man said. As Naruto drove the man's head into the ground, the back of his head exploded on contact. Naruto then spun around and caught something, as it was a grenade with a clip already pulled out. Boom! A fiery explosion lit up the area, sending dirt and human bodies flying everywhere. As the man was covering his face, as he heard a noise at the entrance of the camp, as he only arrived to see one of his comrades was killed by a man using his finger. Without thinking, he threw the grenade that he had clipped to his belt. To his surprise, the man caught it, but it was for naught as it blew up in his hand. As the dust cleared away, as the revolutionist was surprised, he couldn't see the fifth body, as the four bodies were there in pieces, so where was the fifth one? His thoughts were interrupted by pain, as a bolt of lightning in a hand covered in it ripped through his chest. Naruto, who was standing behind the man with his arms sticking out of his chest, thanks for the move, Sasuke, as he pulled his hand out of the guy's chest. Naruto was then assaulted as his clothes started to get torn up by the gunfire, but Naruto was fine as he waved his hands, all the guns fly into the air. The others went for their side arms, but Naruto wouldn't allow them to do that as he went through hand sign, fire style, great fire, annihilation, as he formed a wall of intense flames. While not as powerful as Madara's, it was still strong to wipe out every living creature in front of him, engulfing them, causing whatever that was swallowed to disappear. As he made sure the wall of fire only passed over the right side of the camp, leaving the left and the center untouched. As he watched the fire start to settle, the only thing left behind was the fire and the melted bodies. As Naruto pulled the kunai, as he used his mastery over the elements, as he mixed wind and fire into the kunai blade, as it extended 5 feet outwards, creating a blade of pure wind and fire combination, scorching blade. He then charged forward towards the sea of man in front of him, as he started to slice and dice right through them. Decapitations, disembowelment, bisection. Naruto was ripping them to pieces. His brutality wasn't lost on the man. Some of them tried to run in fear, but their body would be sliced in half, as those who were stupid enough to fight back was decapitated, sliced all over, lost their heads, lost their entire stomach area. As Naruto's Sage Mode then failed, as two men pointed their guns at Naruto, Naruto used his magnetic release and made them turn to each other and litter the bullets in each other's faces, turning their face into nothing but squash. As one of the clones poofed away, as Naruto nature chakra returned back to his body, as a gun was blazed at him, as one of the bullets shot him right in the face, but his head jerked back slightly The man was at complete shock when he saw Naruto turn back, with not even a scratch on him. Naruto appeared in front of the man with incredible speed. He slammed his fist into the man's face. His entire face was dented as blood squirted out as his body dropped to the ground like a sack of potatoes. As Naruto built a Rasengan and thrust it forward into another group, as it expanded like a hurricane and boom, blowing apart several of them. As Naruto was pushed back by a force, as the ground below him exploded as he looked to see 3 tanks coming his way. As Naruto gathered Earth Chakra, Earth Style, Great Moving Earth Core. What the hell? The man started to scream. As the ground shoot up and slam right under the tank, flipping it over as it dropped. As Naruto created 3 Shadow Clones, all of them forming a Rasengan as they thrust forward and slammed it right into the tank as it exploded. Naruto looked around, seeing that there was only about 30 soldiers. He was about to continue his slaughter when Ileana appeared beside him, out of her disc. "Oh my god, Naruto, are you okay?" she asked, seeing that he was coated in blood. He was literally dripping with it from head to toe. Naruto nodded. "I'm fine. Is Limka secured?" Ileana was taken aback by Naruto brushing off her question, but she nodded. "Yeah, I got him. All of his guards left when you burned down half of the camp." "I guess you weren't lying about the element thing," she said. "Take me to him," said Naruto. She didn't hesitate as she flicked her hand in front of her, create another portal, allowing Naruto to jump in first. As she followed after him, they found themselves in the middle of a small ranch house. "Where are we?" Naruto asked. "We're in Great Britain. This cottage belongs to my mother's family." "And where are they?" Naruto asked. "Out of town, I think," said Ileana. Naruto didn't respond as he only walked over to the sink in the kitchen, looking himself over in the mirror, as he could hardly recognize himself as he was coated in so much blood. "Are you sure you're alright? The adrenaline should be wearing off soon. Are you sure that some of that isn't your blood?" "Trust me, I'm fine," Naruto said, as he then felt a hand touch him on the shoulder. As he turned, "Are you sure?" she asked. "Those people, they were so evil. I could feel it. Some of the things that they have done just because they could. But I still feel terrible. Back home, I tried my best not to kill, only at a last resort. But back there, I just lost it. I didn't care," Naruto said. "You're not a monster, Naruto. You may have killed those mans, but they were the monster," Kurama said. Ileana looked away for a moment as she went in thought, as she then turned back. "I can't say I understand, because I really don't. But I can say you're not a bad person. You're just a guy trying to do the right thing, even if how you do it is kind of wrong." As Naruto chuckled a little, as he closed his eyes, he then opened them and looked back to the mirror. "Thanks, I guess." "You're welcome, I guess," she said. "So where is he?" Naruto asked. "He's upstairs. I knocked him out and tied him up." Naruto nodded. "Is there a shower around here?" he asked. "Yeah, over there," she said, as she pointed towards the door. Naruto started to take off his jacket. "I'm going to wash this off. It will only take a minute. Bring him down here and watch him." As he headed off and entered and closed the bathroom door. As he took off both articles of shirt, he realized they were torn and bullet rippled, and blood crusted all over them. Reaching behind his back, he pulled out the gun that was given to him by Gabrielle. Looking at it, he felt like guilt, a wave of guilt washing over him again. What if they had this? Would things be better? Or would it be worse, he thought? Probably worse, and that is even if they had time to get it. And it would have probably led to both of their deaths. "I doubt the soldiers would have taken kindly to the fact that their target had a gun," said Kurama. "Maybe," Naruto said, as he placed his gun on the table. As Naruto took his pants off, now completely naked, he stepped into the shower as the blood started to wash off of him as he felt the cool water rushing down his body. Stepping out of the shower some time later, Naruto was in the same clothes, having nothing to wear here. As he saw the man was awake. "Who are you people?" "Do you know who the hell I am?" he asked. Naruto made his way to the table as he sat down and faced the man. "Yes, we know who you are. That is why you're here." "Why exactly am I here?" Limka asked. "Who are you, damn it?" As Naruto placed the gun on the table that Gabriel gave him with a clank. "I am the one that killed most of your men. I am the one that destroyed your tanks and burned down half of your camp. I was the one that was staying with the Valid family," Naruto said. "Who? I don't know. As Naruto cut him off. Contrary to my recent actions, I'm not a fan of killing. Today I have killed more people than I ever did in my entire career for shinobi, and I will come to regret their deaths eventually. But right now I have little patience for you. I will do whatever it takes to get that boy back. Linka was starting to sweat. I don't know what boy you're talking about, he said, as he gulped. Yes you do, Naruto said as he looked the man in the eye. If you lie to me again, and I will know when you do, you will regret it. And what exactly would you do? That is to say, if I was lying, Linka asked. I won't kill you if that's what you're wondering, Naruto said. As Linka sighed, I will end your rebellion, Naruto continued, by the end of this night. I will slaughter your soldiers. I will draw and quarter your political patrons. I will level this city and plunder this country of all things it holds dear. And after I find the boy and everything you love is good and gone, you will watch as I destroy your very ambition. Then and only then will I release you to wallow in the despair that is your life. With each word Naruto said, he leaked out killer intent that grew thicker and thicker. By the end of Naruto's speech, he started to see things Naruto spoke of. His city, his country, everything gone by this monster in front of him. I have nothing to do with taking the boy, Linka said. When my man told me about you, she was there. She demanded that she send some of her men along to apprehend you. They were like you and her, he said, looking at magic. Like us how? As in they have powers, Naruto said. Yes, Linka said. She has a whole group of them working for her. Who is her? Naruto asked. Monica, Robogini, scientist, supreme of AIM. As Naruto was surprised to see Ileana's face grow pale. Did you say Monica of AIM? Do you know her? Naruto asked. Ileana nodded. She's the one I thought you worked for. That woman has been hunting me for years now. It's the reason I never stay in one place for too long. She's in charge of the science division of AIM. And what's AIM exactly? Some kind of shield off-brand, Naruto asked. Kind of, the Advanced Idea Mechanics, aka AIM, are a group of soldiers and scientists, all dedicated to discover the secrets behind all meta-human and overthrowing of the world government to help fund and support their operations. She is in charge of AIM as the active scientist supreme. She has dedicated herself and her organization in order how to give humans superpower abilities through scientific means. She is a bane of all inhumans. Her torturous experiments that explain why they took the kid. Anyone else would have killed him after he made those two guys' head exploded, Kurama muttered. As Naruto looked at the Prime Minister, so this woman has him. As the man nodded, where are they? Naruto asked. They took him to their base in Sokovia. They're currently funding the rebellion going on there. Naruto looked at Ileana. If you don't want to go, I will understand. Just drop me off and I'll meet you back here. Ileana nodded. I'm not going anywhere near that woman. But I'll drop you off, I suppose. Now wait a minute, Linka said, getting up from his seat. Are you going to let me go or not? I told you what you wanted to know. Sure, you can go, Naruto said, as he slowly started to walk towards the door, backing away. But before you go, there's something you might want to know, said Naruto, as Linka stopped right at the door, his hands on the doorknob. And that would be, from the moment I attacked the camp till now, I have had a group of clones fighting your man in Aniana. I have also having them kill off any politician that have been backing up your upbringing and talk to your king, giving him the proof that you have been the one in charge of the rebellion all along. Naruto spoke in a rather calm manner, leaning back on his chair. Linka's face started to grow red as he growled, "You bastard!" He then rushed at Naruto as Naruto raised his feet and kicked the man right in his crotch as he dropped to the ground as he winced out in pain. See yourself out whenever you wish, Prime Minister. Me and my friend must be leaving, Naruto said. With that, Naruto made his way to the door, Ileana right behind him. But guys, we end this episode right here. Remember to stay in tune for the rest of the what is coming your way. And if you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of Anime King and Anime King 2. And thank you all for helping your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, guys. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto's a God Amongst Man over on Anime King 2. And what if Orochimaru was Naruto's father. So stay in tune for those and enjoy, guys. And thank you for all of your help in your support, and I hope you enjoy each and every series tonight. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now, guys. See you guys soon. Peace.